Well, it looks like 3 ladies.
Looks like easy game for to play.
Well, it's a sociable way to get to know a man, Pollock.
There's always room for a pigeon. Rules of the game.
Pigeon?
Well, come on, sit down.
He's no feathers on Pollock. He's friendly bunch.
Yep.
Strange to think somebody here may be his person who tried to kill Mr. Bentell, huh? Everybody is talking about it.
It's not so strange.
You cannot stop it from happening, Mr. Barkley.
Talk like that could cost you your job, you know.
He is no concern for Pollock. Mr. Bentell is hated man. Many hate him. He will die.
Night, Barkley.
Good night.
Matthew,
Yes, dear.
it's getting late.
Hey, Pollock! Yeah. Take a hitch around that spike, will you? Sure.
How soon will you tie in with that next section? I figure we should join up tomorrow sometime. All right. Let's get back to work. You know, I sure could use some extra men around here.
I could use a lot more work out of the ones you've got.
I'm driving them as hard as they can go.
Every man's got a notch or two more in him. Now, if you can't get the work out, maybe somebody else can.
Yes, sir.
saved your leg.
You think that makes up for everything?
Well, Heath, what now?
He ain't gonna turn us in.
What makes you so sure?
Because you remember, same as we do.
From what we heard, you tried to kill him yourself.
What he done the night of the escape with Tim sticks in your craw, same as it does ours.
18 men, Heath. 18 men shot down in cold blood. And you was almost one of them.
I could have been one of them, too, if it hadn't been for my leg. So could Aaron if he hadn't stayed with me, but we weren't one of them. We lived. And we swore someday he'd pay for what he did.
You swore you'd pay, too.
You swore on the blood of the men you fought beside he'd pay.
Well, Heath, what about it?
How long? How long is this going to keep up?
Long as men have memories.
Why won't they leave us alone?
Because I was chosen to serve as commander of Carterson Prison instead of a soldier in the field.
Oh, Matt, soldier. Oh, for 8 years, I've heard stories about the Union soldiers and the Confederate soldiers and their devotion to the cause and their sacrifices and their courage. Doesn't anybody know the sacrifices and courage it took for you to do the things you had to do? And people crying over the memories of the war.
People only cry over the sorrows they know.
But look at what the war did to you.
No, don't.
Oh, Matt. If only they could know the man I'm married to. The man who's so kind and gentle and gay and laughs so warmly.
You are brave men, Mr. Barkley, to save Mr. Bentell's life today. But these men of Carterson Prison will not forget their hate.
Mr. Barkley. Mr. Barkley,
What is it?
I came to...
You came to what, Mrs. Bentell?
I came to thank you for saving my husband's life.
Well, it was the sorriest thing I've ever done. To make sure it doesn't happen again, I'm pulling out.
Why did I think it all could change?
Mrs. Bentell, your husband started it all the day he took over that prison camp. It'll never change.
My husband was more of a prisoner at Carterson than you or any of the others.
Held there by armed guards, with orders to shoot if he stepped over the deadline.
Held there by his duty.
And his duty was to put us in chains and starve us and beat us and treat us like animals.
The war was almost over. The South was losing. Now, what did you expect him to do? Give what little food there was to you instead of to his own men? He had to keep you prisoner any way he could. But how did you treat one another, you prisoners? You fought like animals over what food there was, over scraps of clothing, over a place to sleep. You even fought over a place to die.
You've got all the answers, haven't you?
All I have is the other side of the story.
Well, tell me the other side of the ambush, where 18 men were shot down in cold blood.
Oh, I remember that night. I remember what that did to my husband.
To your husband?
Part of him died with those men. He didn't want that to happen.
He let 18 men crawl out of that tunnel. He waited until they got into the open before he gave the orders to open fire.
He called out for them to go back. He waited until the last moment, and then he opened fire.
I was there. I was in that tunnel. I didn't hear anybody calling out.
You didn't hear anybody calling out because you were in the tunnel. But if you had heard him yelling out, would you have surrendered?
No.
Neither did the others, and that's why they died.
Like I said, you got answers for it all, haven't you?
Yes. Enough to advise you to save some of your anger for the man who informed on the men who were trying to escape. Yes. One of your fellow prisoners informed. I don't know who it was. I never found out.
That's convenient, isn't it?
Oh! Oh, I don't care whether you believe me or not. This is the first time that I've ever spoken of this to anybody. And it doesn't make any difference whether you believe me or not. Just speaking of it has made it easier for me.
Barkley.
Matthew.
Where are the Condons?
I ran them off Barclay Lane.
You think they've gone?
I do. But there'll be somebody else. Who was the informer that night at Carterson Prison? Well?
Aaron Condon.
But you saved his brother's leg. Why would
He came to me with a deal. He told me about the prison break on the condition that I'd help his brother.
You squeezed every opportunity, didn't you?
My job was to run Carterson as best I could.
And nothing was too low? Even using medical help to get what you wanted?
I had one post doctor only. Medical supplies were practically non-existent. What I had, I used as fairly as I could.
And you used it like a gun on the Condons.
I saw nothing wrong with using whatever means I had to get information that might keep the enemy from escaping, from possibly killing once they did escape. That's why the Condons wanted me dead.
Why?
But somehow the Condons have the idea that I might expose them.
If you were going to do that, you would have long ago. Try again.
How does one carry the deaths of 18 comrades on their conscience?